Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making some easy, delicious Buckeye candies. So let's get started. First off, in the bowl of your stand mixer, or a large bowl if you're using a hand mixer, you want 1 cup or 240 grams of a smooth peanut butter. And this is a smoothed processed peanut butter. So it has some sugar, some salt, and some oil in as an emulsifier. If you want to use a natural peanut butter, mix it really, really well. I'm also adding in 5 tablespoons of butter, that's room temperature, unsalted, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. If you haven't had Buckeyes, by the way, they are so delicious. It's like a Reese's Pieces, but much better in my opinion, because you have the perfect amount of a sweetened, salty peanut butter with a chocolate shell. Wonderful. Put your paddle attachment on, and we're gonna cream this up until it's nice and combined. Whenever you see creaming in a recipe, you're really gonna mix it on medium until things are a nice creamy consistency and well combined. This looks glossy, lovely, and there's no streaks of butter. I will scrape the bowl down because there are a lot of hidden streaks on the bottom. You can comment with your guess for which state this candy is the most popular in. It's very obvious. Unless you're not from the US, in which case you have no idea what I'm talking about. This is nicely creamed up. We're gonna add 2 cups or 240 grams of powdered sugar in now. I will say, it's gonna be less messy to use a scale. So that's what I'm gonna do. Unless your powdered sugar is full of rocks, I don't think you need to use a sifter for this. Perfect. Here the powdered sugar is gonna sweeten things clearly, but it's also gonna stiffen this mixture so it doesn't fall apart at room temperature. Now we're gonna mix this on low until it's combined, and I will scrape the bowl down one more time. By the way, if you like my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes and shorts every single week. So I lied, there's no need to scrape the bowl down because this came together in a nice kind of thick paste. This is gonna be perfect for rolling. And in case you haven't guessed yet, this is very popular in Ohio because of the Ohio Buckeyes, a football team, not soccer. The powdered sugar basically turned this into delicious, wonderful Play-Doh. We're done with our mixer now, so let's get this off and do some work. You wanna grab about a tablespoon of the filling, which is approximately 20 grams exactly, and you're gonna give it a roll. We're basically making an edible, delicious Buckeye nut, so we have our peanut butter center, and we're gonna dip these in chocolate, but leave part of it exposed, just like a real Buckeye looks. The Buckeye tree is the state tree of Ohio. Plop that down onto a baking sheet. We're gonna get an assembly line and roll these out and then chill them. So these candies were invented in the 1960s by Gail Tabor, and she was just dipping some peanut butter balls in chocolate, and the partially dipped ones looked like Buckeye nuts. And as she was a proud Ohio resident, she took them to some football games and they became really popular. And decades later, I'm making this video today. Sometimes these can be a little bit misshapen, and that's totally fine. We're gonna chill these, and after they chill, if you want, you can give them a second roll and kind of even things out a bit. My very last Buckeye is getting rolled out. This can chill now. We're gonna be dipping these in warm chocolate. And the one thing that will make you sad is if your Buckeye slides off your skewer into the chocolate, and now you have to fish it out and it's starting to melt. You want these to be really firm. So at least 20 minutes in the fridge. I would give this an hour or more and just like come back to it later. Better safe than sorry here. In you go. Towards the end of your chill time, we have some chocolate to melt. But first, what kind of chocolate? 2 cups or 340 grams of semi-sweet chocolate. You could chop bars, or you could grab a bag of chips. Either will work for this, really. I'm gonna use some bars today, but if you're using chips, you can skip the chopping. So if you're chopping, just aim for smaller pieces that are an even consistency. These Buckeyes will last in your fridge for up to 2 weeks in a sealed container, and they can just be hanging out in your fridge. Grab one, go. It's like a perfect little snack. A sweet treat, if you will. Transfer your chocolate to a heat-proof bowl. I'm gonna melt my chocolate in the microwave, but This can be kind of annoying to deal with because the chocolate thickens up so quickly and it'll drag your Buckeyes down. You might want to thin it out. In that case, I would suggest adding 2 teaspoons of coconut oil. The coconut oil will thin the chocolate out, it'll make it a bit glossier, and it'll harden quicker. If you're using chopped chocolate, very optional. If you're using chocolate chips, it might be a bit more handy to use the coconut oil. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of coconut oil into this and melt this in the microwave, 30-second bursts, stirring in between. Or use a double boiler, just plop this onto a pot of simmering water, making sure the water is not touching the bowl, and stir frequently until it is mostly melted. In you go. Once your chocolate's melted, pull your Buckeyes out of the fridge and it's time to get to dipping. I will say, you might want to transfer your chocolate to a smaller container if you notice that it's hard to dip them because it's too shallow. Wipe any excess chocolate off the bottom and transfer that to your baking sheet. And just continue this process. If you notice that your Buckeyes are getting too soft and they're falling off of your skewer, just pop them back into the fridge, or work even faster. This could also happen if your chocolate's thickening up, in which case you might want to have a little burst of like 20 seconds in the microwave and give it a stir, because if it gets too thick, it's gonna pull the Buckeyes off of your skewer. Continue this process for the remaining balls of peanut butter. You could also use a fork and let the Buckeye rest there for a moment, and that helps some of the excess chocolate drain off. So as you go, you'll notice that your Buckeyes have, of course, big holes in the middle from your skewer. You could use a small knife and just kind of make that all closed up, or leave it as is. It's totally up to you. If you want these Buckeyes to have a glossy chocolate shell after they've hardened, you can temper the chocolate. It is a little bit of work. There are many methods for it. I show you how to do it in my chocolate bomb video, which you can click here for. But whether you temper the chocolate or not, these are gonna be so delicious. I can't wait for you to try this recipe. Chill to allow the chocolate to set, and just like that, they're ready to enjoy. These guys are perfectly sweet, salty, peanut butter chocolate amazingness in one no-bake package. I hope you get a chance to make this delicious recipe, and if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my candy playlist.